there, my name is Carrie Budinger and I support the PowerWalkThrough account at McREL. You're likely watching this video because you either opted into a demo account or you recently purchased licenses. This video will cover getting started with your account. To complete walkthroughs, we have two options. The first is to use your laptop to go to the website, which is a one-stop shop. All of the features exist there. You could complete walkthroughs, email feedback to teachers, and run reports all in one place. The other option, and what most of our users opt into, is downloading the app on their phone or their tablet. We have an app for both Apple and Android devices. On each, you can complete walkthroughs, but you'll still need to go to the website to run reports. If you're an Android user, you'll also need to go to the website to email feedback, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. To get started, depending on your device or how you'd like to access PowerWalkThrough, we can follow along for each view as we move forward. So moving from left to right, if you're an iPhone user and you'd like to use the mobile app, you'll open your app store and search for eWalk. There will be two options that appear, eWalk for Business and eWalk for Education. At this time, you'll choose eWalk for Business as it's our best developed app. If you're an Android user, you'll open your app store and search for McREL. It should pull up the app McREL PowerWalkThrough. However, if nothing appears, you can also search for eWalk and find the tile that looks similar to the turquoise eWalk on this screen and download that on your phone instead. If you like having access to a full keyboard and a full-size monitor, you can use your laptop to go to the URL on the screen to access the website. To log in, you do one of two things. Either you received a welcome email from me saying that you now have access to your licenses that you recently purchased. That username would be your work email address. However, if you're watching this video because you're opting into a demo, your username will simply be McREL Demo. The default password for either account will always be 123456. When you're using an app, there is a one-time setup for your profile. The website doesn't require this, so you would simply put in your credentials and you'd gain access. However, if you're using an app, there's 2 or 3 steps to get started. If you're looking at the left of the screen and you have an iPhone, you'll select the blue rectangle to select user. And when the menu appears, you'll go into new user to open your final menu. Next to the human icon, you'll put your first name, and you could put your last name, but truly no one sees this information, so any name there is fine. And then you'll check the fields below. Your host should say mxwebus1.harriscomputer.io, and your system should say 146. If either of those are blank or incorrect, you can use the information on the screen to complete it. And then in your username field, it's either your work email address or McREL Demo. Similarly, on the Android, it's opening the downward arrow to get to new user, but on the Android, every field will be blank. So for profile name, it's your first name or your first and last name. In the username, it's your work email address or McREL Demo. For the server ID, the server address is mxwebus1.harriscomputer.io, and the system ID will be 146. Once you've saved on either app, you'll return to the home screen where you can enter that default password of 123456 and log in. Moving forward, you will only need your password to gain access to your account. Once you've reached the home page of either the app or the website, your first steps will be completing the walkthrough. So, on your apps, you will click the green circle icon for new walkthrough, or if you're on the website, you'll click the blue product tile for PowerWalkThrough. On the website, you'll want to make sure that you are in the views section so that you can click the link for new within the user created templates. The next step is choosing the template on your account. So we have a standard McREL walkthrough template that links to research from one of our books, Classroom Instruction That Works, the 2nd edition. And you can find that on the website in the second field for template with a drop-down for standard McREL walkthrough template. After that, you'll have an option for schools. So if you have licenses, your schools will appear as the actual schools you have access to. If you're on a demo, you will have our A+ schools listed. And similarly, depending on what school you choose, the teachers will appear. For this purpose, we are just using demo teachers, but we can sync your teacher list to reflect, of course, the schools where you are completing walkthroughs. Once all of that is selected, you are now in your walkthrough template. And there are a few things to look at on the cover page before you go in to answer the questions. So the first would be the walkthrough name. Our preferred naming convention is the teacher name and the date. It makes it very easy to find your walkthroughs once you've collected a lot of data. And so if the walkthrough name does not automatically appear as teacher name and date, you can edit those fields to ensure that it shows that before you finish. The other thing to look at is your end date. So it will automatically populate the time that you started, but depending on how long you stay in the classroom, you will need to update that field before you save. And so when you are ready to save, there are options at the top. It's either the arrow, a done, or a save and done to ensure that your walkthrough data is saved. So what I have here is a 1-minute video showing what is the PowerWalkThrough template. So we're looking at our standard template, which has drop-down questions for grade and content area, other classroom demographic questions as well. There's a style question for choose all that apply. And you'll see very similar styles moving throughout the template. All of this is fully customizable. If there are certain things you're looking for, we're happy to make sure it meets your needs. These high-yield instructional strategies come from Classroom Instruction That Works, the 2nd edition. If there is evidence of an instructional strategy during the walkthrough, you can say evidence of to see more responses, or you can click not observed, and that will be the end of that question. We also have a section for final questions and feedback. And so these are just a few short answer questions to wrap things up, an area for grow and glow, questions you may have for the teacher based on the lesson that you saw. No fields are required, so you are welcome to skip questions, but that's an example of navigating through an entire walkthrough template. And as a reminder, it is fully customizable. I am always more than happy to talk about how we can make sure that it meets your needs of what you're hoping to gain from using the PowerWalkThrough tool. So after the walkthrough is complete, there is a next step, and that is syncing your walkthrough. And this is only needed for the apps. If you complete a walkthrough on the website, it automatically syncs it. However, if you are using one of our mobile apps, there are a few benefits to syncing. The first is that it stores your data on the cloud. You'll never lose it. If you forget to sync and your phone breaks, then we can't retrieve the data for you. So we always encourage users to complete a walkthrough and sync it immediately as your next step. The other benefit is that it merges the data with everyone else on the account. So if you have multiple users, you would want to ensure that all data from all users is available for reporting, and syncing does that. And the last benefit, if you like to keep PDFs of this information on your computer that's easily accessible, you can get PDFs from the website after it's been synced. So how do we sync? Again, you only need to sync if you're on an app. And so the first step would be clicking the yellow icon for Manage on the home page. That leads you to a list of your walkthroughs. You could click on any row to open the walkthrough that you've completed to review the data. You would know that it's not synced because on the iPhone, the bubbles will be yellow, and on the Android, the row will be gray or sometimes it's red. If you click the icons on the toolbar, either the rectangle of arrows or the upload, you can then successfully sync to the server, which you would know on the iPhone when you see the bubbles go green, that it was successful. And on the Android, the rows would be green, also indicating success. The biggest part of PowerWalkThrough is sharing feedback with teachers. They see you in the classroom and they're curious about what you saw. If you're an iPhone user, after you've synced a walkthrough, you can click the paper icon next to each walkthrough to open a menu, and from there you can email the walkthrough. All teacher email addresses will be synced to the platform, so you don't need to worry about having that information on hand. It will connect when you're ready to email. On the website, if you're an Android user or if you've completed the walkthrough using the website, on the toolbar, you will see an option for Manage Walkthroughs. That will lead you to a list of all the walkthroughs that you've completed. And when you open one, you will have an option to click the @ sign to open your email settings. And if you happen to not answer all of the questions on the template, you can enable the setting to print elements with data only. So it will skip the questions that were unanswered, so it doesn't look like you missed it or you forgot it, and the teacher will only see what you've responded to. From there, you can also customize an email note to go along with the link to the teacher. Since teachers do not have access to PowerWalkThrough, they will receive a link that downloads a PDF of their walkthrough information. You also have the option to CC yourself as well if you want to have a copy in your email. And then, of course, you'll click send. So managing walkthroughs, there are a few other features on the website that we should talk about today. And so the URL listed there is our homepage for PowerWalkThrough. Once you've gotten to your section where you can click the blue icon for Manage Walkthroughs, you'll be able to access a couple more features. But as a note, if you don't see a walkthrough that you know you completed on your phone, it probably means it hasn't been synced yet. And so you'll just go back to your app, make sure that you sync it, then you can refresh the website and it should be there instantaneously. This is the Manage Walkthrough section of the website. So there are a few things to note. It does list every walkthrough completed. You can filter by date range in case there's a lot of data on the account to make it easier to find what you're looking for. You can click the box for your walkthroughs only in case that's what you're interested in. And by clicking on a walkthrough name, you will open the options to review the walkthrough data for that specific one. And from there, you can email, print as PDF, and edit if needed. There is also an option to filter by staff. Perhaps there's a specific teacher that you're looking for. That may be your easiest option to find the walkthrough you need. And then the other nice thing about emailing from the walkthrough website is that it keeps track of it. So if your walkthrough row has a hyperlink @ symbol, you can open the email log to see when did you send that walkthrough to the teacher? Did you include a custom message to go with it? And if you happen to email it more than once, it will indicate each individual email log. It will become a scroll bar so you can see all the instances that you've emailed that specific walkthrough. The last part of PowerWalkThrough that is a key feature would be reporting. And so we can see on the toolbar that there is a section for reports. We have 8 standard reports, but today we'll only look at the overall template, and that tends to be the most favorite. So once you've selected your settings in the report, you come to a cover page that tells you how many walkthroughs have been completed, and you start to go through every single question on the template. You also have a great interactive feature with your visualized charts. So if you want to skip looking at the table of numbers and percentages, you could interact with the visualizations to glean that information more quickly. We have pie charts, we have bar graphs, and it just depends on the style of question which visualization you will see. We also have an option to filter. And so if you wanted to look at third grade math classes and share that report with those teachers, you can use the custom filter area to select that. And you would apply those filters to go from 100 something walkthroughs now down to 2 walkthroughs. And again, it's showing every question on the template as it applies to those specific filters. Since teachers don't have access, you will need to print as a PDF to then email it to teachers, and they would receive essentially a mirror image of the report, just without the interaction to the visualized charts that are available. If you're interested in learning more about the other reports or more filtering features for the overall template report, you can contact me anytime to learn more about that or anything else that you've seen here today. My email is on the screen. I'm happy to chat anytime. If you are looking to learn more about PowerWalkThroughs, how to use it, the app, the website, the reporting, anything you need. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.